Hello and welcome. This is the Hello Rant podcast. I am the host of the show. You can call me B. So we finally made it through Spec season. Everything's been announced. Everything as of making this video. All the houses, all the scare zones, all the goodies has been let out of the bag, and we know everything that is coming to the event. I keep looking over here because I'm looking at my computer and my notes. So, anyway, so we made it through Spec season. It was a long Spec season, as it always is. And, I don't do a lot of the Spec stuff. I don't make videos and stuff. It's probably why, I have 2 subscribers. And 30 people may watch or listen to the podcast, but that's cool. I do this kind of just for fun. It's not I'm not trying to build a following or anything, but if someone hears me, that's cool. And someone leaves a comment, that's even cooler. So I'm putting these on YouTube, so hopefully someone comes across it. I'm speaking here to the junkies. You've kind of made it through all the podcasts. You've listened to the last 3 episodes of 365, and you've watched all of the live streams, and you are just a junkie, and you're just you need more, and that's what I'm here for. So I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna pretend that I'm getting new people. I fully realize that anyone's coming across my show on YouTube or podcast or whatever is all in on HHN. That's cool. I'm not gonna insult your intelligence and go through the spec map. Okay, we know anyone here is watching. Y'all know all the spec map. I mean, it's not even a spec map no more. It's a map. So y'all know the houses. Y'all know all that stuff. I'm not gonna talk about that. I might mention some of them, but anyways, I want to start off just talking about, and we're gonna make this a little different. And I guess my point of that whole rant was, let's make this a bit different. Everyone kind of is doing the same thing. I'm going to kind of dial it back a little bit. We're going to go back to last year, and we're going to this whole show is going to just be about Spec season and what's going into the new season, and we're just going to cover it all. But I want to back up and talk about 33, and even going back, but the few years before that, 30 through 34. 30 through 33. So basically the last 4. But especially 33. 33 was pretty disappointing. I can't lie. It was boring at times. It was, I wrote here in my notes, it was going through the motions, a little incompetence here and there from the people that may be talented otherwise, but didn't have direction. It was a little disjointed, as I wrote down. But I did note everyone on the team is still talented. So, it's like a good football team or something. You can have a team full of talented players, but if you don't have direction, if you don't have teamwork going, and you don't have the one coach that is getting everyone where they need to be, and with a great game plan, you're going to get beat by people with a game plan, right? And for HHN, it wasn't about getting big. It was just not putting together something that was great. It wasn't. Last year, I kind of left last year thinking, do I want to keep, I love Halloween, don't get me wrong, and a bad HHN night is still a good time. For me, I'm in Alabama, so I drive all the way down to Orlando. So this is a vacation for me. If I was just going and just that is a vacation for me, and I vacation other places too, but I'm not like a Disney adult. I don't do Disney actually. I'm not a Universal adult. But I do like Halloween Horror Nights, and like I said, even a bad Horror Nights is still a good time. But that said, a good Horror Nights is a great time. So let's to the team this year, and Mike, Aiello, or whoever has kind of did this year. Cheers to you on getting us there. I think I'm calling this the apology tour. So hopefully this comes to fruition in terms of everything being awesome, because it really does seem like this is the apology year for the past maybe 4 years. Nothing's really been super great. 31 was okay. Some people would take me to task for 31. 31 was okay. I didn't think the rest of them were good. I thought the scare zones, for the most part, I can only name like 2 scare zones I liked over those past 4 years. So for the apology tours, like I said, cheers. We are drinking the mystery drink tonight. This is my mystery cocktail. I put all of my favorite bourbons in there, like when they're good. This is called my infinity bottle. Anyways, nerdy stuff. So this is like my special drink, and we're saving it for the end of spec season in this episode. But moving on, so 34, this is the apology tour, and I'm all in for it. I love everything that has been released, even stuff that I wouldn't have thought I would like. I think it's going to still be great. But going back, just still circling back to the end of last year. So I remember I wrote it in my notes, I did the survey for Universal. And in my survey, like, I know I've joked about this in the past, but I really actually did the survey. And I think everyone should do their survey. I think they probably send it out to every single guest. And I think everyone should do these things, And what I wrote in my survey was the event has gotten way low energy. And the event has gotten not scary. And it's like we've moved away from this being an adult Halloween party, which it was in the 90s, when it first started. This was a party. It was a party for adults, right? Theme parks are generally for kids. I understand that, but Universal's a bit different. And especially Horror Nights was not for kids, and the event had just kind of gotten into this corporatized, whatever, very safe space kind of thing. That's what it seemed like. And I wrote that in my survey. I was like, I get no energy from the event. I walk around and it's like boring. I want to fall asleep. I said, I need some energy. I need something to pump the music. I need like something to get me going. I need some scare zones. And if you're not going to do scare zone, do something funny. And whatever you do, go all in on it. Like don't give us any more milk toast garbage. And so I really feel like everything in my survey has been answered. Like it seems like everyone it literally seems like they read my survey and was like, oh well, here's Club Horror for you, and which. I see a lot of people poo-pooing on a Club Horror. I love it. I'm not going to say that I'm going to go over there and start dancing, but I would love going through there if they're playing some, pumped up, some good upbeat music. Let's throw some like Rob Zombie Dracula on there. Let's give me like Hellbilly Deluxe. That's what I want. I want to go through there. I want to get the pick-me-up. That's what I want. That's what I want Club Horror to be, is that pick-me-up. Moving on, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. So spec season. Let's just back up. I went through the end of the last year, and we're going into spec season this year. And I said, you know what? I'm going to give it the one last try to see what they do this year. And if they would have gave us another 33, I probably would have kind of lost a lot of my interest in terms of doing the whole following the event and going multiple times throughout the year or the season. I probably still would have gone maybe, but just maybe for a couple of days and just for a single night or ticket or something like that. And but they answered the call, and now I'm all back in. And so we had a great spec season. I do want to talk about and this is one thing that I guess maybe I'm not an Orlando person, and I suspect that a lot of the HHN people that are really really invested in kind of like I guess I am, and listening to podcasts and doing all that. I would imagine there's a lot of local people to Central Florida, or people that at least once lived there or do live there now. I'm not that person. I don't go to Universal very often. I'm just 9 hours away, so I go to Universal once a year basically for Horror Nights, and so I'm coming at this from the outsider's perspective, and so it's not always so apparent if you want to keep up with this stuff where to get your information. Okay, so if you like Horror Nights, and let's say that you went last year and you said, "Oh, I like it, I want to get into it," and where do I go to look to get the cool insider information? And that's not so apparent. You just can't just maybe type that in Google and it come up, but you'll get a lot of that stuff obviously by listening to the podcasts, and you'll watch YouTube, but the YouTubers and stuff like that are referencing other stuff. So my thoughts were, where do I find the stuff that they're referencing? So I found my way to Insider Universal, and I kind of got off of that site for a little bit. Insider Universal is great. I think Legacy posted most of there. Legacy is one of the insiders, obviously. So if you are a newbie and you're trying to look for, if you're a newbie, you're not watching this, and I don't know why I'm even saying this to people that know all these things, and they probably know more than me. But you got Insider Universal, and you got the Discord servers, which is you can go to. There's a few for Horror Nights. I like the HHN 365 Discord server. It's a great one. And you get on any of these servers, you'll get the insider information. I would assume Reddit HHN is like that, but I don't want to go to Reddit. Sorry. So that's the vast majority of where I got my information was Insider Universal, HHN 365, and that Discord server. Very cool place too, and there's some cool people on there. One thing about the HHN community is it's a little bit cliquish. It's very cliquish. If you're not one of these Orlando people, or if you're not, you don't have certain ways of viewing life and stuff like that, and if you're not quite alternative or something, I feel like you're kind of an outcast like me. If you're just a normal dude, sometimes it seems like you are kind of on the outside looking out in terms of if you want to give your opinion on any of these places. So if you're just a dude and you go to Insider Universal, don't give your opinion unless you want to get banned, because there's a very, very strong alternative left kind of probably crowd that really is the base of the Horror Nights, fan base. This is the real diehards, and if you're not in that club, you're not particularly sometimes welcome. I will leave it at that, but I don't care. I don't care about. I don't need to give my opinions. Although I did get almost banned from not the 365 server, but a different one for talking about like saying that I wish we would have less vegan food. Anyways, yeah, and we should have less vegan food and more regular food options, human food options. Anyways, moving on. So that's all the media that I watch. That's where all my insider stuff was. Insider Universal, the Discord servers. The media that I watched and listened to was HHN 365. That's a podcast. The RIP Tour podcast. Although the RIP Tour guys, I like them. I like them a lot. They can be a little pretentious, but still love them. But 365, that's my jam. I love that podcast. I listen to the Fear and Beer podcast sometimes too. I just, I have the first two podcasts to listen to, and sometimes it's just a lot to listen. That's why no one listens to mine, because, I'm like fifth down the list. So you have to be a real junkie to listen to me. But moving on, to 365, as far as YouTube, Zombie Chris and Clickbait Kevin, if you know, you know. Losh TV, DC Thrills, all great YouTubers. And I make fun of Kevin Combine. He gives good information, but he is very clickbaity. I'm just not into that. I wish he would quit that. Anyways, some new ones that I've come across. This is a new one. The Dish Upon a Bar YouTube channel. I think it's a couple. And really like them. Love their vibe. 6 Billion. I should have put that in the first. He's not cool. Like, he's one of my favorites. 6 Billion. Dylan Thomas is I don't think he's new either. I just think he's new to me. So I've watched a few of his videos. I like them. So yeah, that's the media that I've watched. I think Zombie Chris is probably my favorite, but he doesn't put out as many videos. Dreamport Productions is great too, obviously. I forgot to mention him. And so I like all those guys. I feel like those guys kind of all know each other and they're friends, and that's cool. I love that. And Losh TV is the one I like watching right now. Like, he does Losh Gust, which is, videos all through August. So Losh TV, probably my favorite daily watch here in August. But, moving on. Okay, let's actually get to the event. I've kind of rambled enough. Like I said, I don't think I need to talk about any of this stuff. Like, y'all have heard, everyone that's listening to this, y'all have heard people talk about all the houses ad nauseum and all the scare zones ad nauseum. So I'm just going to talk about the scare zones in general. Okay, so my biggest gripe from the previous years has been the scare zones. Like, the houses have been kind of okay. Like, I mean, they do a great job on houses, but scare zones have been, sorry for my language, but the scare zones have been ass. Just absolute ass. Terrible. With just a few exceptions, not even a few, like one. The graveyard zone was great. Even ones that people kind of like the sweet zone in 31. It was still just okay, but really nothing in the Central Park has been very good. And let me get another sip of my bourbon. Oh, that is strong, baby. I love it. So the scare zones, okay, when I first went in 29, the scare zones is what sold me on Halloween Horror Nights, not the houses. I actually can't really even remember the houses that well. I remember Graveyard Games I loved. I remember, maybe the only house I really remember is Graveyard Games. And what's so odd is I can remember the other houses from the subsequent years, much, better. But I didn't like them as much. I didn't like those years as much. And the reason I loved 29 so much was the scare zones. That's what is burned into my memory, in the atmosphere. The scare zones and the atmosphere, that has been my biggest gripe. And I put that on my survey. So you need to fix your scare zones. So I love what they've done. Okay, so in theory, they've taken away a scare zone, but they've kind of, they've added the water show, and they've added the Mel's thing. So that's all that really matters. I mean, they're saying scare zones and street experiences. They're all street experiences. Let's just be real here. And I think they sneakily might sneak in the Simpsons chainsaw horde again. I think they're going to do that. But one more sip for my drink, just to throw us a bone. So all this stuff is street experiences, really. Are the scare zones ever really scary? Not really, unless maybe you're going through it by yourself. But does that ever happen? Usually not. Let me see what else I have read in my notes here. Well, so this year, it seems like it's been a huge step up. Huge step up. I love the Central Park zone. The Central Park zone with the pumpkins in the trees. I know everyone's mentioned this, and everyone. So if you're watching these videos, the update videos, you're seeing all the stuff in the Cat Lady zone in Central Park. But I just love all these zones. Seem great. Like I think they're all gonna be real good. And I did not think that about last year. I was just like, meh, when I heard them, and when I went through them, I was like, meh. But this year, and with the addition of Club Horror. See, this is what if I had to rank these, I would probably rank Club Horror number one. Not because I'm going to go stand and dance in front of the DJ or whatever, which I think they could do so many cool things with this DJ. They can do the Pumpkin Lord. They can rotate the DJs, and they can do Pumpkin Lord. They can do Jack. They can do, man, there's so many things they can do. Richard S. Pumpkins or whatever, David S. Pumpkins, or whatever. There's so many cool things they can do with this, with the DJ, and I'm just like so in on it. I want to walk through that zone, and I want to feel the energy. I want like a blast of energy. I want a blast of just heavy metal, just energy, and just very dance. Halloween upbeat songs. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to dance, but I will go through that if I need that pick me up. I need that pick me up. It's 1 a.m. It's 12:30. Actually, right about like 11 sometimes. 11:30. You get the oh man, should I get home? Like, should I go back to the hotel? Especially if you like have a few more nights. So if you're going to this event and if you have like several nights, and that first night or the second night or whatever you've been, and it's like 11:30 and you're tired, and you're like, yeah, should I go back? I could go back because I'm really sleepy, but no, the best time to be at the event is after 11. It's like after midnight. So you need to pick me up sometimes, and that's where I'm gonna go. Anytime I need that pick me up, I'm gonna go right through Club Horror. Give me that pick me up, and get me going till 2 a.m. But anyway, so the scare zones, I'm not gonna go through them. They all. I don't know. Just like that, I lost my notes. No, I didn't. There we go. So. The scare zone seems like a big upgrade. The sets are bigger. I think it's going to be grander. I think it's going to be more immersive. I think you're going to have more scare actors, and just think it's going to be better. Like, I'm all in on the males dying zombies. I'm so curious how they're going to do that. Like, will they actually bring you food? I doubt it, but it'd be very so cool if they did. I would absolutely order for something from Mel's if the zombie on roller skates brought me the food. But what I think is going to happen is like a kind of a partitioned space, so that no one's like running in front of people, with roller skates. So they'll have like a partition space to do like some kind of like maybe dance choreographed thing, maybe, or who knows what they're going to do. I don't know. But moving on, I'm not even going to mention the scare zones. Like I said, y'all have all seen them. The one I think probably I'm looking forward to most is the cat lady one, just really because of the pumpkins and the trees. The houses. So the houses, I wrote in my survey that the houses were not scary. They were not scary. Insidious was kind of scary. Insidious was a great house, okay? But, I mean, I'm trying to remember houses from last year. I remember Insidious. Ghostbusters. I don't know. They're all so forgettable. Really, the houses last year were not good. And which was sad. We had like 6 originals. They were supposed to be good. We were supposed to have all these great originals, and an IP ends up being the best house. It was wild. There were some throwaway houses. Like Triplets of Terror was terrible. Absolutely terrible. I remember that one because it was so bad. Museum was terrible. The Monsters House, meh. Goblin's Beast was kind of amusing. I'm starting to remember them now. Not great, though. They're not scary. Nothing scary except Insidious. So, I mean, I'm not so convinced that all these are going to be scary, but they're going to be scarier than last year. I think that was just not my survey that said all these things. A lot of people are saying these same things in their surveys. The event's not scary. Let's make the event scary. And let's make the houses scary. I think Artista is going to be a scary house. I think they're probably going to make Hatchet and Chains. Hatchet and Chains may not be. I don't know. I think Wide 6 they'll probably try to make scary. Gawkin, I think that's going to be not so scary, but it's going to be like a Dead Men's Pier kind of thing. It's going to be it could be scary though. I think Dolls is supposed to be the comedy house is what everyone's saying, but I think it's going to be actually scary and comedy house. I think Grave of Flesh has potential to be really scary. Terrifier is going to be, I don't know what Terrifier will be. I think Jason they're going to make scary. I think they're going to make Jason very scary. And like I said, I'm not going to go through all these houses. Y'all know what the houses are. Like, y'all know. That getting Five Nights at Freddy's was huge. I don't care how Universal does. Like, I know a lot of people that on these podcasts and stuff like, oh, this is going to make Universal all this money and this is a great thing for Universal. I don't care. Like, I don't care about Universal. I care about my experience. I'm glad Universal does well because the better they do, the better event they can put on. But I don't really care if they're drawing in people. Like, I would love for there to be a night where I go and everyone else kind of just forget to go and I'm just there by myself. And 100 other people. Now, I would love that. Universal would lose a lot of money, but I'd have the time of my life. So I don't really care if Universal makes money or not. They're making money off me for sure. So, but my point to all that is everyone's like, Five Nights is scary. Five Nights at Freddy's and Terrifier is going to bring in all these people. And great. Not great, actually. Not great. But that said, I don't care about Five Nights at Freddy's. I don't care about that, video game or whatever. But if it's a cool house, it's a cool house. I'm all in for it. If they make it a cool house, let's do it. I don't think I'm going to do that house very often because I do think the line for that is going to be ridiculous. And Terrifier, Terrifier I would love to do. Again, the lighting for Terrifier is probably going to be ridiculous. So I'm probably going to do Five Nights at Freddy one time, like I did Ghostbusters last year. And I'll probably do Terrifier once, maybe twice. I'm just not going to stand in lines for over an hour. Unless I can help it. Like I accidentally got in the Insidious line last year, thinking I was going into triplets. It was a long night, and I'm like, why is this line taking so long? And I got to Insidious, but I waited over an hour for that, and I generally just don't do that. If the lines are over an hour, I wait until they're less than an hour, and I'll go do the scare zones or go get food or do whatever. I'm not staying in line for it. Like, y'all know what I mean. Anyways, back to the notes. I keep clicking this and it pulls my notes away. Real quality operational guy here going here. So the houses, I wrote that they're not scary on my survey. I think they have improved that. I think to me, this seems like a just absolutely stellar lineup. I don't know how I can improve it. I don't know what I could put in there that would just make it better. I think all of the originals are just fire. So as far as my hype for the houses this year, I'm hyped for all of them. I want to do all of them. And, I might have said that last year too, but maybe not to that degree. But I do remember being hyped for the houses last year, I guess, and comparing them to the year before and saying, oh, I like these better. And it ended up not being that. But we'll see. Like, I do think there's something different about this year, though. Like I said, this is the apology year. So we are getting all the stuff that we've been missing. And I think scares is going to be a big priority this year. As far as hype list, let me just give a top three without giving a number one. I think Artista. I think Hatchet and Chains I'm looking forward to. And I think, I don't know. I think the White Six is going to be real good, but I think it's going to be really, really good. Like, that's what my brain is telling me that. I just don't care about wrestling. But, it's probably, it's up there just because I know it's going to be real good. But Galkin. So, there you go. You got my top three is Artista, Galkin, Hatchet, and Chains. All originals. But, I'm fully expect for something else to be, the number one by the end. We'll see. But, and maybe one of those would be the Bad House. Hopefully there's no Bad House this year. Hopefully there's no museum or no triplets this year or Chucky or whatever. Or just like a throwaway house that I don't want to do. But yeah, so that's my hype list. I may actually come up with a real hype list. I don't love the way people do their hype list generally because they give stuff without any kind of like reference for anything. So the way that I do them is like if I have like some kind of time machine, right? And I could go and do this house. Let's say that I have some kind of magic time machine, and I was going to do my hype list right now. And you said to me, what's the one house you could just do right now if you just could leave your living room right now and go forward in time and do one of these houses? Which one would you pick? And I would look at it, and the one that I picked would be the most hype I'm about. So I would most likely out of all these probably pick Artista. And then you just keep on that like that. Well, okay, so you did Artista. We'll let you do another one. What's your second one? Then I'll be like, well, maybe Calkin. maybe HHN chains. I don't know. And then I had to pick one, and the one I picked, that would be number 2. Anyways, so that's the way people hype. People should do hype songs and ranking lists, but they just throw stuff out. Anyways, moving on. So I'm about to wrap this up. I do want to talk about the food wants. Nothing has been released as of now, so we're done with spec season. But I guess we don't have all the food yet. But it's whatever. Food is great. I love the food. I am super hyped about getting all the food released because I do like trying the different stuff. But the food wants I want this year. There's only really one, and I need my fried Oreos back. I need my Universal. Please bring back the fried Oreos, and I did put that on the survey. Better damn believe it. Yes, they did not have fried Oreos last year. They had them the year before, and that's what I wanted. That's what I want for this year. But as far as the rest of everything, I want walking taco is a good dish because it's something you can eat and it fills you up and it's kind of hearty. I don't care for this real just bubble gum mini hot dog or whatever. Something that's just really so odd. I mean, I'm okay with you doing some of this stuff like this, but give us some actual really stellar food. But a lot of people love the fish and chips, and maybe I didn't get a lot of food last year because I just didn't like a lot of stuff on the menu. But I did hear the fish and chips was good. I get the walking taco every year. It's good. It's Fritos in a taco. It is what it is. I don't care for pizza fries. I don't get them. I don't get the twisted taters. I just think they're overpriced. They're just not my thing. But give me some good sweets. I want a good dessert this year. I don't think there was a great dessert last year. What I liked the best was the chicken basket and the triplets of terror. I like the triplets of terror booth I think was the best. They had some chicken with some special sauce or something on it, and then they had a little 3 thing of dessert with these little dessert things, and those are good. So give me some good sweets. I want some good sweets. Give me a good feeling sweet thing, a pie, piece of pie or something. I don't know. Something good. I would love something with ice cream, but I just don't know. They don't ever do ice cream. But something frozen, whatever, that would be cool. I'm trying to think of other stuff that they've done in the past that I just really loved. I can't think of anything really off the top of my head other than fried Oreos that I just really love. But obviously fried Oreos, give me that. Fried dessert kind of stuff, that's great. And then the drinks are the drinks. They are what they are. Some are good, some are bad, some are gross. I may try some, may not. But anyways, I'm going to come the second week in September. So the second week or I guess maybe even the third week of the event, because you got opening weekend, and then the next weekend, and then the next week and weekend is when I'm coming. So September 10 and through 12. So I'll be at Cabana Bay. So if you're a weird stalker person and you want to come kidnap me and take my kidney, I'll be at Cabana Bay. But the 10th, I think through the 12th is I'm there. And I may stay there a little longer. I don't know. I may switch over to Endless Summer because, man, these hotel prices are getting pricey. I do want to go to Hallis Creek this year at SeaWorld. Yeah. I've been at Busch Gardens before. It's okay. I just don't really want to drive to Tampa. But I still may. We'll see. But I do want to try Hallis Creek at SeaWorld this year. But that's all I got. This has been a long rant and ramble. So if you've made it this far, you are just you have problems. You're like a serious junkie and you need help. But I do appreciate anyone that has listened, and I may make some more. So we'll see. But we will catch y'all at the event. And it was good spec season, people. See y'all.